Welcome to Red-tastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for taking everything I bought and leaving an empty apartment for my ex-roommate? I'm actually pretty sure I am the a-hole here. I just want some perspective. I was living with my ex-boyfriend. We were still good friends and it worked for a while. But there was a good reason we broke up, so we kind of argued a lot. COVID happened. I lost my job, got very depressed, and stopped helping around the apartment at all because I was sleeping most of the day. We got into an argument that was basically either get a job and pay for expenses or help out around the place but stop mooching. I was, of course, trying to find a new job ASAP. Anyway, he decided he couldn't live with me anymore and packed a bag. He moved in with his aunt and uncle, I think. Later, he told me to move out immediately because he was paying the rent and it was his apartment. Both our names were on the lease, but he was right. He did pay all the rent and utilities. However, I didn't have a job. I was by myself, and even moving 1,400 miles away to my home state to live with my parents was financially infeasible. It took me about 1 week of panicked apartment hunting to find an apartment that I would probably be able to afford, assuming I was able to get a job. My dad, bless him, co-signed for me and I got the apartment. I got a job about 2 weeks later and things were looking up. Now, just about everything in that apartment was paid for by myself or my parents. Dishes, pots and pans, bedsheets, toiletries, groceries, the dresser, etc., etc. He had bought the furniture and that was about it. When I moved into my new apartment, I took everything I had purchased because money is still very tight for me, whereas my ex had never lost his job and was doing fine. I basically left a completely bare apartment with a bare bed and desks, kitchen table and 2 chairs. He was furious because I ransacked the place and left him with nothing to start off with. He said I should have left a pack of toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning stuff, half my dishes, the bed sheets, hangers for the closet, and bottles of shampoo and such. He was further furious when I took myself and my debit card off our joint phone plan and went on my parents' plan to save money, forcing him to pay the phone bill or cancel it. Am I the a-hole? Edit. 1. I lost my job less than a week before he told me to leave, so there was never a time where I wasn't pulling my weight financially. 2. I left a roll of toilet paper in the apartment. This was mid-pandemic. I'm talking mid-April, and we literally had 2 rolls of toilet paper. I took one and left one. 3. I told him very clearly I was going to take what I had bought. 4. It was explicitly agreed upon what each of us would pay for. He paid rent and utilities. I paid for everything else. 5. I couldn't get another job right away because my state was totally shut down at the time. 6. We only had 1 bed in the place. I took the sheets because I slept on the floor of my new place for several days while I looked for an affordable mattress. More information. The agreement was that he paid rent and utilities. I cleaned the apartment daily and did all his cooking for him. And I also purchased everything else, including groceries, the phone bill, and any necessities that weren't strictly rent. I benefited financially from the roommate agreement, and in return, he did not lift a finger. I did everything. My end was not held up for a total of 4 days as I fell into a depression after losing my job mid-pandemic. It was kept up for 10 months before that, and I did not leave a mess when I moved out. We were not bound to continue living together because despite being friends, we do butt heads a lot. We were both stressed and arguing often. He paid the rent for the 3 weeks I was living there alone because this argument did not end our relationship, and he chose not to make me live on the streets. It was incredibly kind of him to do so. We also discussed that I would take the items I had purchased, which he agreed to. The issue came in when he went back to the apartment after I moved out and found it quite empty. I believe that he didn't realize the amount of stuff I actually purchased and contributed. Everything physically in the apartment besides the bed and tables were purchased by me. I had already told him I was taking what I bought. He was just shocked by how much I actually contributed to his daily life. Hope this clears things up. Update. Roommate and I talked. According to him, the situation was stressful for everyone involved, and he's no longer upset. I took what I had bought. I gave back some things I had too many for one person, and the situation ended surprisingly amicably. You're not the a-hole OP. Your ex-roommate wanted you out of the house during a pandemic after not fulfilling your end of the deal for 4 days. Then he got mad that the house was empty after you took everything you bought, like you had told him that you would. He's nice for paying the rent while you were looking for a place, but he could have been a much nicer friend to you and be more understanding because you did lose your job, and you were going through a really rough time. However, I'm glad you've both sorted everything out amicably. I'm glad you found a new job. I hope you continue to do well, OP. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. When a breakup happens, you take your own stuff and severe finances, and that includes the phone bill. He says you should have left him half of the dishes and such, but he was the one who told you to leave immediately since it was his apartment, even when you were both on the lease. You gave him tit for tat, and now he's pissed that he has to buy adult things. Don't feel bad. This is how it goes. Not the a-hole. This happened to me when my ex and I broke up. I later found out he complained to mutual friends about how awful I was to do it. He apparently liked to tell people I even took the ice cube trays. In actuality, the fridge had no ice cube trays. He was talking about the silicone ice cube tray shaped like little shells that I liked to make chocolates in. When people told me what he had been saying, I could only laugh. Did he really think I would leave all my things there for him to use? People are unbelievable. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for being annoyed by my girlfriend's zest for life? My girlfriend, 29 female, is a very lively and energetic person. But sometimes her behavior is really annoying for me, 33 male. She wants me to share her joy for little meaningless things up to 5 times a day. It's tiring. Yesterday we went on a hike and she was constantly admiring nature. The grass has reached an impressive height. These ducks have babies, look, 3. Nature is healing my soul. Look at this panorama, breathtaking. She was obviously having the time of her life. I get it. There's a duck, there's some green grass and some hills where we were walking. But the hills are not that impressive and you can literally see them everywhere in our area. She made 3 or 4 comments about nature, and it always included the imperative to look. But I just wanted to exercise and get the hike done as quickly as possible. I know exactly where her behavior comes from. Her family does the same. Look, James, the tit found a nest in our tree. Mary, look how beautiful your cake glazing turned out to be. Delicious. I am so tired of looking. I don't want to give her that attention, and the things she's pointing out don't make me happy. They mean nothing to me, so I guess I was being rude by telling her, please let me walk in peace and stop asking me to admire all this stuff. I don't want to. She didn't take it well, and we ended up being quiet for the rest of the hike. I didn't want to silence her. I'm sorry and apologized. But she was angry and avoided me in our apartment. She said, "So what else am I supposed to talk about?" I think she got me wrong. Am I the a-hole? You're the a-hole, OP. It sounds like your girlfriend was just enjoying nature, and she wanted to share the things that fascinated her with you because, you're her partner. I understand that maybe nature doesn't excite you as much, or maybe you're not as lively as she is. But if you don't like these qualities about her, then why are you with her? It sounds like you would be happier with a grump like you. If you can't appreciate her qualities and you'll only dampen her bright mood, please let her go. She deserves someone who wouldn't mind looking at 100 things with her. Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. You sound super negative to me, like a super downer. Hikes are exactly the place for that. Hikes are exactly the place for that. She wanted to go on a hike. you apparently wanted to go on a power walk. You shut her down in a pretty rude way. Also, your description of her family honestly just sounded to me like, they are delightful people. To me, all of these things sound like very normal things that basically everyone I know would make comments about, except maybe the grass height. I swear, I don't get people sometimes. I keep seeing posts here that boil down to, my partner was doing something that made them happy and was harmless. I shat on them from a great height, and now they have the audacity to be not as happy around me. Bro, let your girl be happy and enjoy nature. Besides, you got what you wanted. You bitched that she was being talkative and making you look at things, and now she's not because you ruined that for her. It doesn't seem fair that you get to complain both when she's happy and when she's not. Story 3. Am I the a-hole if I don't want my girlfriend to bring her cat when she moves in? It's safe to say that I'm a dog person. I've always loved dogs and always had dogs. And my dog that I have now is my best bud. I love how social they are and how much they show love back to their humans, and that they are smart and trainable. I definitely do not like cats. Lots of people love them and that's fine, but I personally do not even slightly see the appeal of taking care of an animal that doesn't give two shits if you live or die. And that takes an insane amount of training and effort to learn even basic commands, which they will only ever do if they feel like it. I can't count how many times I've been scratched or bitten by a cat for no other reason than I dared to go near it. So yeah, not a fan. My girlfriend and I have been dating for almost a year, and she is a 1 in a million girl. When we're apart, I often find myself just wanting to spend time together. She is wickedly funny and always making me laugh out loud, and an amazing artist. And she has a cat. It is not a particularly bad cat or anything, as far as cats go, very average. But I am so the opposite of a cat person that even average is bad. Have you ever hated someone so much that every little thing annoys you? That's what cats are like to me. And this cat is just everywhere when I'm hanging out at my girlfriend's apartment. Jumping up and down from shelves, stepping on my crotch, kneading my leg with its paws, and most importantly, claws. Yowling outside the bedroom door whenever I spend the night. My girlfriend of course loves him and doesn't see any flaws. All of this wouldn't be a problem, but as I said, we are approaching 1 year, and I have been thinking about our future together. I can see myself marrying this girl and I want her to move in with me, but I do not want to have a cat. I don't even know if my dog will get along with it, and I know I won't get along with it. I've tried to talk to my girlfriend about the issue and she just turns stone effing cold. Hey, maybe Cat can live with your parents when we move in together. They're in the same city as us. Nope, we're a package deal. I tried very calmly and rationally explaining to her the issue, and she outright said that I need to figure out what's more important to me, because either they both move in with me or we break up and stop wasting each other's time. Just full ultimatum and holding the relationship hostage. I feel like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here. If she's playing hardball, would it be an a-hole move for me to play hardball right back and say that she can't move in until she rehomes the cat? Now for some comments. You're the a-hole. You are holding the relationship hostage. She had the cat when you met her, but now you want her to get rid of him because you don't like them. How would you feel if she asked you to give up your dog? Don't say it's different because cats are different. That's just your opinion. The cat is her pet whom she loves and wants to keep. You obviously haven't even tried to get along with him, and good for her for sticking to her guns. Maybe she isn't the girl for you, seeing as she's a cat person. If you don't agree with that, do better and get to know the cat. You might like him. So might your dog. You're a huge a-hole. For a start, cats absolutely do care about humans. I took mine to the vet today because he had a sprain in his leg, and I had to leave him there for a few hours to be tested and get an x-ray. He was overjoyed to see me when I came to pick him up. Just because a cat has never liked you doesn't mean they aren't capable of loving people. Secondly, you're just a selfish bastard. You say in your post that your dog is your best bud and that you love him deeply. If your girlfriend asked you to get rid of him or send him away, would that seem at all reasonable to you? It wouldn't. What makes your relationship with your pet more important than hers?